right now, by the way, the number is no longer 3. It's 2.5.
Depending on where you're at, yeah.
Then right now, I'm looking at 11 places that I bet with. This is where I actually put money at. These are not just screen numbers. They take substantial money. There's not 1 3 left. They're all gone.
All right. Well, why is that so important?
It's huge important. 3 is the biggest number in football. 3 in the NFL.
I mean, like, why wouldn't you? Do you ever buy? I know you go right to the money lines.
Well, on a number like this, I would bet a money line. Yes. So if I'm on the favorite, I'm taking the money line.
All right. Let's say you're on the favorite, but you're not a big gambler, and you can't afford to take the money line. Would you buy the 0.5 point? Let's say you're 3.5. Let's say you're 3.5. And you like the favorite, and you can't take the money line.
I would not lay 3.5. No, I'm not.
No. Not this game. Just giving you an example. So let's say you're the favorite, 3.5. You don't have the money like you to put 160 or 170 on the money line, and you have the option. You just stick with 3.5, or you buy a 0.5 point. Would you tell the bettor to go ahead and buy the 0.5 point, or just stick with the 3.5?
It's an excellent question. And not having been in that position for,
do you think financially? I know most bettors, from what I understand and I've heard, most serious bettors don't care about it. They just don't think it's worth it. And others like you will bet the money line. But again, I am in one of those that it matters. Every dime matters. Every little percent matters. And since I can't do the money line as a favorite, I usually will do that in a straight bet. It's a lot. And by the way, it's a lot easier to do it in a parlay if I wanted to make a parlay. A part of the reason I want a parlay is that it makes it easier for me to take that 0.5 point down. I don't affect it as much because I've got a second game that maybe I like the plus 140. And that's another thing. Maybe what I could do is do a parlay where I got minus 170 on the money line, but then I take like a minus 160 on the dog on another game I like. And it's almost like an even bet with 2 teams. And I've done that before too.
Okay. I think the right answer here is this. If you're $100 bettor and you're going to lay, the line is 3.5.
Okay.
And you like the favorite. 3.5 is a terrible number to lay because 3 is the most. And first of all, the odds maker is telling you this should be a close game. Okay, that's what the number is telling you. That doesn't always right, but it's what it's telling you. I would not lay the 3.5. What I would do is I would take the money line for $50. So basically, my risk is going to be similar to what it would normally be. Laying 110 at 3.5, laying $50 on the money line, we're kind of in the same ballpark. So I'm going to take the money line bet at $50 instead of laying 3.5 at 110.
Okay, that's not bad. That's a good explanation.
I think that I have a better chance of winning, and I'm not risking any more money. The other option is this. Let's say you like the number of games that were similarly rated and they were favorites. That's key here. I would probably bet a 2 or 3 team money line parlay. Okay, so you're laying less money.
Yes.
And all you have to do is have your teams win.
Yes.
They don't have to cover any spreads.
Yes.
So this is a little bit better, I think, on the positive EV, which is expected value of your bet.
Yep.
You're not risking any more money, and you're operating in a budget. You're not going to go to the store and buy an $8 carton of milk when you could buy a $3 carton of milk of equal value. So you want to manage your money. And it's key. That's important. So there are 2 ways I would look at it. I don't think I would. And the other thing is, on underdogs, I always take the points. I don't take the money line on the underdog exclusively. Let's say I'm a $100 bettor. I might bet $50. No, I might bet $70 on +4 and $30 on the money line with the dog. So I have the same amount of risk, a little bit bigger payoff if the dog happens to win the game.
Yep.
Okay. So I try to use the money that I am supposed to bet on this game and not go wild, and not put myself in an expected loss situation because of the spreads. So you can creatively use your money more practically.
Yeah, that was similar to what happened with the Chiefs-Chargers game, because it was a 4-point spread, like you're saying. And if you took the money line, you lost. But if you took the 4, you hit it. And so you would have lost the $30 bet, but you won the $70 bet and you came out ahead.
Correct.
So you came this close from winning it all. But it's not a bad idea, too, because for me to do with like the Cleveland Browns, which we'll get into in just a minute, because they have the same type of line. But before we do that, you were talking about Houston as a favorite, a home favorite, depending on the line. So it's going to go over their lines this year. Let's go over. They were a 6-point favorite at home against Chicago, and that was a tie. They were a 5-point home favorite against the Jags, and they lost it. But they were a 1-point favorite at home against Buffalo and won it. Then they were a 4-point favorite at home against the Colts and lost it. And a 8-point favorite against Tennessee and lost the game outright. So that was this year alone. Just so you know exactly where the point spreads were. Matter of fact, that means the only time they were a 3-point favorite or less, which was the Buffalo game, they actually won the game outright. Anything above 3 was where they had some trouble.
Well, that's a short sample size.
Yeah, it's just this year.
And quite frankly, it means absolutely nothing to me.
That's why I just go by the, again, this is why, this is my philosophy here. So Mark's playbook, stats, trends, philosophy.
But Mark goes on a much bigger sample size in any statistical.
Well, that's what it was. 17 games. 17 games. Sample size.
The sample size has to be large to be practical, and it also has to consider the player conditions, the injuries, who's the quarterback, who's the coach.
Yeah, but Mark doesn't even do that.
Well, I do that.
I'm just saying, but you don't do what Mark does.
Well, we're different.
I know.
You know what? I can't argue with Mark's philosophy.
That's why it's great to have the both of you guys on, because it gives the best of both worlds.
Well, first of all, if I like a side and he likes the other side, I usually either back off totally on the game or I back off a lot of the money because he wins. So I don't want to bet against people that are winners. I want to bet with people that are winners. I mean, because
makes sense.
I'm not going to, if he's a 60% winner and I'm a 60% winner, we're going head to head. What the hell? I have no, the expectation is less. So, you have to, you can't possibly think that you're going to be that right all the time. No. And when there's smart people on the other side, their opinions matter also. Now, if I'm dealing with some donkey that loses every week, I just take his bets and bet against them, and I don't even look at the games. I fade him because he's a 20%. And believe me, I knew a guy that was a 20% winner. And every bet he ever made, I took the other side because, I'm going to be an 80% winner. And basically that was that way for about 10 years until he stopped betting.
Oh, man, you should hire him to keep betting.